Welcome to online lectures on Control Systems Laboratory. In this video, we will discuss the digital simulation of Bode plot for stability analysis. Coming to the title of the experiment, the digital simulation of Bode plot for stability analysis. So here they will give the open loop transfer function. For that we are drawing the Bode plot. From the Bode plot, we need to identify the stability of the system, whether the system is unstable, stable, or marginally stable. Coming to the aim, obtain the Bode diagram of the unity feedback system with an open loop transfer function g of s equal to 10 by s into 1 plus 0.4 s into 1 plus 0.1 s by MATLAB simulation. So here the open loop transfer function is there. For that open loop transfer function, we need to draw the Bode plot. And from that Bode plot, we need to identify what is the gain margin, gain crossover frequency, phase margin, phase crossover frequency. Once if we know this all the details, then we can identify the stability of the system. Then we can assess the system stability. So first we will do the theoretical calculations. Once the theoretical calculations is over, then we will see how to write the coding part and how we are simulating in the MATLAB software. So first we need to draw the Bode plot for g of s equal to 10 by s into 1 plus 0.4 s into 1 plus 0.1 s. This is the open loop transfer function. So coming to the first step in the Bode plot, first step we need to cross check whether the given transfer function is in Bode form or time constant form. That means 1 plus st form, where t is called as a time constant. We need to cross check whether the given transfer function is in 1 plus st form is there or not. That is the Bode form or time constant form. If we observe our transfer function, so it is already in Bode form, time constant form is there. So this 0.4 and 0.1 only called as a time constant. So it is already in time constant form. So now directly by substituting s is equal to j omega, we need to convert the given s domain transfer function into sinusoidal transfer function. So this is the g of s transfer function that we call it as an s domain transfer function. That one we need to convert into sinusoidal transfer function by substituting s with j omega. That means we are substituting s equal to j omega in this equation. So if we substitute s is equal to j omega, then g of j omega is equal to 10 by j omega into 1 plus 0.4 j omega into 1 plus 0.1 j omega. This is the sinusoidal transfer function. If we observe this equation, it is in complex form. So now we need to identify the magnitude and phase angle for this equation. That is g of j omega is equal to magnitude mod of g of j omega angle of g of j omega. This magnitude part means 10 by j omega into 1 plus 0.4 j omega into 1 plus 0.1 j omega. This is the magnitude part we need to identify, and angle of this term. So first we will see the magnitude part, how to identify the magnitude part. It is in already we are saying it is in complex form. So a plus jb, it is in complex form. So if you want to identify the polar form, that is a magnitude and phase angle, means coming to the magnitude, it will come as a square plus b square. That means a plus jb, it is in complex form. A is the real part and b is the imaginary part. So if a plus b is in complex, means if you want to identify the magnitude part of this complex form, root of a square plus b square. And coming to the phase angle, how to identify the phase angle means tan inverse of imaginary by real. Tan inverse of b by a. Imaginary term is b and real term is a. So tan inverse of b by a. So by using this technique, we can identify the magnitude and phase angle for this equation. So coming to the magnitude part, if we observe here, only j omega is there. That means only j omega is there. So here the real term is 0. So root of 0 square plus omega square. So this is the first term. And coming to the next term, 1 plus 0.4 j omega. 1 is the real term and 0.4 omega is the imaginary term. So root of 1 square plus 0.4 omega whole square. This is the second term. And next term, 1 plus 0.1 j omega. 1 is the real term, 0.1 omega is the imaginary term. So 1 square plus 0.1 omega whole square. Now if you observe finally the magnitude part of the above equation is 10 by omega into root of 1 square plus, that is 1 plus 0.4 whole square, root of 1 square plus, that is 1 plus 0.1 whole square, that is 0.1 into omega whole square, right? This is the magnitude part of the transfer function. This is the magnitude part of the given open loop transfer function g of s. And now we need to identify the phase angle. How to identify the phase angle? That is tan inverse of B by A, tan inverse of imaginary by real. So the first term, if you observe, only j omega is there. That too, here all the s terms will be in denominator. So all angles will come in denominator. The denominator angles, if we shift to the numerator, it will come as a negative sign. It will come as a negative sign. If you observe here 10 only magnitude is there, that means 10 angle of 0. You can neglect this one. And coming to the j omega, tan inverse of imaginary by real. Here we are having a real is 0. So tan inverse of omega by 0, that means infinity. We can write it as a 90. So if you shift to the numerator, it will come as a minus 90. And next, 1 plus 0.4 j omega. Tan inverse of imaginary 0.4 omega by real 1 is also in denominator. If you shift the numerator, it will come as a negative sign. And next, 1 plus 0.1 j omega. So here the imaginary 0.1 omega. Tan inverse of imaginary by real. It is also in denominator. If you shift the numerator, it will come as a negative sign. So this is the phase angle. Now we know the magnitude part and we know the phase angle of the given open loop transfer function. And now once the magnitude and phase angle is identified, next we need to identify the corner frequencies. We need to identify the corner frequencies. Number of corner frequencies depends upon the number of time constants. Number of corner frequencies depends upon the number of time constants. If you observe in our case, we are having 2 time constants are there. So 2 corner frequencies will come. 2 corner frequencies. That is 1 by 0.4 and 1 by 0.1, 2 corner frequencies. This 0.4 and 0.1 are the time constants t. So omega equal to 1 by t. So that omega only we call it as in corner frequencies. So omega C1 is equal to 1 by 0.4, 2.5 radians per second, 1 by 0.1, 10 radians per second. We need to select these corner frequencies in an increasing order. No need to cross check whether it is in denominator or numerator term, but finally the corner frequencies will be in increasing order. That's why 2.5, this related term we are taking as omega C1, and next higher value 10 we are taking as omega C2 in an increasing order. Once the corner frequency is over, next you need to check the magnitude table. Need to identify the magnitude table. In the magnitude table, the first column will be the term corner frequency, slope, change in slope. So coming to the first term is always either k or k into s or k by s. That means constant k in only k, or derivative factor k into s, or integral factor k by s. In our case, we are having a 10 by j omega. That is integral factor is there. That is k by s form is there. So 10 by j omega is our first term. 10 by j omega is the first term. And coming to the next terms we are selecting in an increasing order of the corner frequencies. We need to select the terms based on the increasing order of the corner frequencies. So omega C1 is the 2.4 radians per second. This one we are identifying from the 0.4. So this is the related term. And next 10 is the corner frequency. We are getting from 0.1. So this is the term. Next terms we are selecting in the increasing order of the corner frequencies. And now corner frequency is over. And now how to identify the slope. Generally the slope depends upon the s position. If s is in numerator, it will be plus 20. In denominator, minus 20. In case s square is there, means minus 40 plus 40, like that it will come. So if you observe in first case, 10 by s form, 10 by j omega, s is in denominator, so minus 20. And next also, here also in denominator only minus 20. Next also, denominator only minus 20. This is the slope. And next, change in slope. Next, coming to the change in slope. Coming to the change in slope, first one, we are not having previous value, so we are leaving. And coming to the next one, we are having the previous value, so we are taking as a reference as minus 20. And the current value, previous value plus the current value, will get as in minus 40. And now for the last one, that is at omega C2, the previous value change in slope is minus 40. Arrow marks is there. You can observe this minus 40 plus the current value minus 20. So we'll get as a minus 60 is the change in slope. Once the magnitude table is over, now we need to assume, need to take 2 corner frequencies. That is, one is the lower corner frequency and one is the higher corner frequency. On what basis we are choosing the lower corner frequency, higher corner frequency means the lower corner frequency will be which is less than omega C1, least corner frequency, which is less than omega C1, and higher corner frequency omega H, which is greater than omega C2. Already omega C1 and omega C2 is the least corner frequency and highest corner frequency. Less than least corner frequency, need to choose one frequency, that is the lower corner frequency omega L, and already omega C2 highest corner frequency is there. Greater than that one, you need to choose one more corner frequency, that is the higher corner frequency omega H. So now we are having 4 corner frequencies is there. For the 4 corner frequencies, we need to identify the gain. When omega is equal to omega L, lower corner frequency, we are taking as a 0.1 radians per second. And omega C1 is 2.5 radians per second. Omega C2 is 10 radians per second. And omega H is an omega H. At omega is equal to omega H, we assume omega H we are taking as a 50 radians per second. Now at these 4 corner frequencies, we need to identify the gain. Once if we know the gain, if we calculate it, if we draw the plot, that only called as a magnitude plot. So first coming to the gain at omega is equal to omega L. That is at lower corner frequency. For finding the lower corner frequency, directly 20 log of first term in the table. In the table, if we observe the first term is 10 by j omega is there. So magnitude of this first term 20 log of j omega is the gain at the first corner frequency. That is 20 log of 10 by j omega magnitude. So 10 by omega will come, that omega value is 0.1. If we substitute, it is 20 log of 10 by 0.1. We'll get as 40 decibels. And next, at omega C1, when omega is equal to omega C1, at that point also, again, A is equal to 20 log of the first term in the table. The first term is 10 by j omega. So 10 by j omega magnitude need to consider. So here the omega means we are substituting omega C1 value. Omega C1 is 2.5. So if we substitute 20 log of 10 by 2.5, we'll get as a 12 decibels. Gain at omega C1 is 12 decibels. And next coming to the omega C2, when omega is equal to omega C2. Here onwards, the formula will be different. Previous and all directly 20 log of first term in the table, but coming to the next higher corner frequencies, need to consider the slope also. So at omega C2, the gain is change in slope from omega C1 to omega C2. That is change in slope from previous corner frequency to the current corner frequency into log of current corner frequency by previous corner frequency plus gain at previous corner frequency. Change in slope from previous corner frequency to the current corner frequency into log of present corner frequency by previous corner frequency plus gain at previous corner frequency. So coming to the change in slope, how much is there? Minus 40. And log of present corner frequency, omega C2 value 10. Previous corner frequency 2.5 plus gain at previous corner frequency, that is omega C1 gain 12 decibels. If we substitute, we are getting minus 12 decibels. Gain at omega C2 is minus 12 decibels. And next at higher corner frequency, when omega is equal to omega H, gain is equal to change in slope from previous corner frequency to the current corner frequency into log of current corner frequency by previous corner frequency plus gain at previous corner frequency. So coming to the last case, the change in slope is minus 60 and into log of present corner frequency, that is omega H value is 50 and omega C2 previous corner frequency is 10 plus gain at previous corner frequency. Gain at previous corner frequency is minus 12. Gain at previous corner frequency is minus 12. So we are getting as a minus 54 decibels. Minus 54 decibels. Now we know the corner frequency with respect to the gain. If we draw this one, that only called as a magnitude plot. So now magnitude plot calculation part is over. Now we need to check the phase plot. Already phase angle expression is there. That phase angle expression, if we observe, angle of j omega is equal to minus 90 minus tan inverse of 0.4 omega minus tan inverse of 0.1 omega is there. This total equation will be in terms of omega. So we need to select different omega values. And if we substitute, then we are getting the phase angle. What values we need to choose? We are already having the 4 corner frequencies are there. 0.1 radians per second, 2.5, 10, 50. So already 4 corner frequencies is there. So in between or nearby values, you will take some 2, 3. And totally for 5 or 6 values, we are calculating. 5 or 6 omega values you are choosing. By substituting that omega values, you need to find the angle, phase angle. For example, first 0.1, substitute 0.1, minus 90 minus tan inverse of 0.4 into 0.1 minus tan inverse of 0.1 into 0.1. So whatever the value here, usually it is coming, we are cross-checking. And from that, the final value here. Right. Now, once this omega versus this phase angle calculation, everything is over. If we draw this two in a plot, then that only called as a phase plot. The two combination of this magnitude and phase plot only call it as a Bode plot. Now we'll see how to draw the first magnitude plot, and then we will see the phase plot. So Bode plot, we are drawing the semi-log graph. If we observe the semi-log graph, y-axis semi-log graph we are drawing on the Bode plot, we are drawing the semi-log graph. So y-axis will be the magnitude or gain. Y-axis is a linear scale. You can take either magnitude or gain, but coming to the normal practice, we prefer gain only. Bode plot means we prefer gain only. So y-axis is a normal scale, linear scale. But coming to the x-axis will be the frequency. It is a non-linear scale. X-axis is the non-linear scale. It is in multiples of 10. So here it is. We are assuming here it is starting with a 10 power 0. 10 power 0 means the first line will be the 1 means the second line will be the 2, 3, 4, up to 9. And here 10 power 1. That means the first line will be the 10. First line will be the 10. So the second line will be the 20, 30. Like that it will go. And here it is in 10 square means the first line will be the 100. And the next line will be the 200. And next 10 cube. That means here the first line will be the 1000. Multiples of 10 it will go. It is a non-linear scale. X-axis and non-linear scale. So on what basis we are choosing means what about our minimum corner frequency and what about our maximum corner frequency is that based on that we need to choose the x-axis scale. Now if we assume here a 10 power 0, that means we are starting with 1 to 3. If we want to choose 0.1 also we need to plot means we need to take the first value will be the 10 power minus 1. 10 power minus 1 means 0.1. First one 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 up to this. And the next one will be the 10 power 0 here and 10 power 1 like that it will go. So coming to in our case, what is the corner frequencies we are having? If we observe corner frequencies, omega L is 0.1. Here it is in 0.1, 2.5, and it is in 10, and it is in 50. So in the graph, we need to show 0.1 also. So that's why we are showing you graph 0.1. That means first value we are starting with 10 power minus 1. 10 power minus 1 means 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 up to 0.9. 10 power 0 means it is in 1. 10 power 1 means 10. Multiples of 10, it will go like this. So first, at 0.1, what about the gain? At 0.1, our gain is plus 40. We need to choose the y-axis scale. To choose the y-axis scale. In our case, it is in plus 40 is the maximum gain and minus 54 is the minimum gain. Is based on that we are choosing the gain, that is y-axis scale. Once if it is in chosen, then we can start drawing. So in our case, I'm taking 0, 20, 40 like that. So at 0.1, the gain is 40. So I'm marking this point. And next, omega C1. Omega 7 is 2.5. So 10 power 0, this is the 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So in between here it will come. So 2.5 we are marking as a plus 12 gain. Omega C1 gain is plus 12, that one. And next omega C2. Omega C2 is 10. For the 10, the gain is minus 12 decibels. At 10, gain is minus 12 decibels. So this is minus 12 decibels. And next higher corner frequency is 50. For 50, the gain is minus 54. So minus 54 means in between minus 40 and minus 60 will come. Approximately here it will come. Minus 54. Once the points is over, next join these 2 points with a scale. Then it will come like this. This is the magnitude plot. We join two points with a scale and just represent the omega CL, that is the lower corner frequency, omega C1, omega C2, and omega H higher corner frequencies. So this is the magnitude plot. And once the magnitude plot is over, next we need to check the phase plot. Already phase angle table is there. Here, what about the values, omega values and the phase angle? We need to cross check. If we observe, all the angles will be in negative angles is there. That we are starting from minus 90 to minus 230 is there. So that range only graph will come. So based on that, we need to choose the scale. So in our case, we are having only negative values only. The graph is coming from minus 90 to 230. So I'm choosing like this. So this one I'm taking as a 0 reference. So on top, it will come as a 30 plus 30 and down minus 30, minus 60, minus 90. So multiples of 90. So each unit you are taking as a 30 degrees. And now, what about at 0.1 angle? Minus 90 approximately is the 91 like that is it. So I'm placing the point. And next, At 0.1, minus 92. At 1, 118. So 0.191 is there, and that 1 means 10 power 0, it's the 1. So here we are having almost 118 is there. 118 means minus 118, approximately minus 120. Like that, each and every point we are choosing, and if we plot, and if we draw a smooth curve, by the free hand. Previously, this magnitude plot we are drawing with a scale, but coming to the phase plot, we are joining with a free hand. So if we join with a free hand, then that is the phase plot. Magnitude versus, that's the magnitude we are converting into the gain. That gain versus frequency is the magnitude plot, and the phase angle versus frequency is the phase plot. Once the magnitude plot and the phase plot is over, from graph, first we need to check what is the gain crossover frequency and the phase crossover frequencies. First, we come to the gain crossover frequency. Already magnitude plot is there. From that magnitude plot, we can identify the gain crossover frequency. So from the magnitude plot, where the gain of the system is 0, this line we are extending on the plot. So here we are having it 0. So if we extend this one and check, what is the frequency is there. That frequency, we call it as a omega GC, gain crossover frequency, where the gain of the system is 0. That respective frequency is the gain crossover frequency, this is the omega GC. And next, coming to the phase crossover frequency. How to identify the phase crossover frequency means we can identify from the phase plot. Already phase plot is there. And in the phase plot, we need to cross check what is where we are having the minus 180. That line we will extend on the phase plot. We'll extend on the phase plot where it is intersecting that respective frequency. How much is there? That respective frequency, how much is there? That frequency, we call it as a phase crossover frequency, omega C. That you can observe here clearly, where the gain of the system is 0. From this the magnitude plot, where the gain of the system is 0, that respective frequency is the gain crossover frequency. And phase crossover frequency means from the phase plot. The second one is the phase plot. If we observe where we have the minus 180, that one you are extending on the phase plot, and the intersection point, that respective frequency is the phase crossover frequency. Once if we know the gain crossover frequency and phase crossover frequencies, we can identify the gain margin and phase margins. First, we will see how to identify the gain margin. Gamma is equal to 180 plus 5 GC. Gain margin is phase margin. Phase margin is 180 plus 5 GC. What is 5 GC? 5 GC is the phase angle at gain crossover frequency. 5 GC is the phase angle at gain crossover frequency. Already gain crossover frequency is there. That gain crossover frequency which intersects the phase plot here. At this point, what is the angle? At this point, what is the angle? Is it that angle we are taking as a 5 GC phase angle at gain crossover frequency. Once if we know this angle, if we substitute here, then you will get the phase margin. Phase margin we are finding from the phase angle at gain crossover frequency. Already gain crossover frequency is there. That gain crossover frequency intersects the phase plot here. At that point, what is the phase angle? That angle we call it as a phase angle at gain crossover frequency. Once if we know the phase angle at gain crossover frequency, if we substitute, then you can identify the phase margin that you can observe clearly. So this is the omega GC, gain crossover frequency, which intersects the phase plot here. At that point, what is the angle is there? That angle is the 5 GC. Once if we know the 5 GC, then you can identify the phase margin. This is the phase margin. Like this, you can identify the phase margin. And coming to the gain margin. How to identify the gain margin? Gain margin you can identify from the phase crossover frequency, omega PC. Gain margin we can identify from the omega PC, phase crossover frequency. So already phase crossover frequency is there. This one we are extending on the magnitude plot. This phase crossover frequency we are extending on the magnitude plot, which intersects here. So with respect to here, we are extending, and in between these 2 points, with respect to 0 on that intersection point, what is the gain is there? That a reciprocal of that gain will give the gain margin. reciprocal of this gain will give the gain margin that you can observe here clearly. So this is the omega PC. This is the omega PC. This omega PC we are extending on magnitude plot. This is a magnitude plot. We are extending on magnitude plot which intersects here. So in between these two, how much gain is there? How much gain is there? Reciprocal of that gain. Reciprocal of that gain will be the gain margin. Reciprocal of this gain will be the gain margin. So once if you know this all the values, phase crossover frequency, gain crossover frequency, gain margin, and phase margin, then we can identify the stability of the system. Right. This is the theoretical part, and now we will see how to write the coding part. Coming to the apparatus required, personal computer and the MATLAB software, and the given open loop transfer function is g of s equal to 10 by s into 1 plus 0.4 s into 1 plus 0.1 s is the transfer function. And if you convert this denominator term into the polynomial, then it will be easy to enter in the coding part. So if you convert this one, that is 10 by 0.04 s cube plus 0.5 s square plus s. This is the open loop transfer function. So now we need to write the coding part for this open loop transfer function. So coming to the numerator, we are having only 10. Coming to the numerator, we are having only 10. 10 is the numerator. And coming to the denominator, 0.04. The highest code is s cube. So s cube coefficient is 0.04. And next highest is s square. S square coefficient is 0.5. And next highest is s power 1. So s power 1 coefficient is 1. S cube coefficient, s square coefficient, and s power 1 coefficient. And s power 0, we are not having any s power 0 coefficient, so directly place 0. So this is the numerator and denominators. Once if the numerator and denominator is over, then by using that we can frame the transfer function. So I'm giving the variable name as the SYS system. SYS equal to TF of TF is a predefined command transfer function. TF of numerator comma denominator. So with this, the transfer function is there. Now for the transfer function, we need to apply the Bode plot. We need to draw the Bode plot for this transfer function. So Bode of system, Bode of the transfer function. So graph will come, but from the graph, we need to check the gain margin, phase margin, crossover frequencies. That is the phase crossover and the gain crossover frequencies. So for that, we need to check the margin of the systems first. So margin of the system. From that margin, we need to identify the gain crossover frequency, phase crossover frequency, gain margin, phase margin from the margin of the system. So this is the coding part. First, we are entering the numerator and denominator transfer function. Now we are playing the Bode plot. So Bode of system is graph will come, but from the graph, we need to check the domain specifications. So for that, this margin, and then we are specifying what are the terms we need to identify. So this is the coding part. So once the coding part is okay, then we need to try in the MATLAB software. We'll see in the MATLAB. So here the MATLAB software, we'll enter the programming part in the script file. So I'm opening the script file. So already program is there in slide. Directly I will copy. Copy the program directly from this slide. So the first line will be CLC. It will clear the previous data. Anything is there in command window. Yeah. Now you can check the programming. First one is the CLC, and then numerator, denominator, and then system transfer function. For the transfer function, for that system, we are applying the Bode plot, and graph will come. From that graph, we need to identify the domain specifications for that margin, and we are specifying what are the domain specifications we need to calculate. Right. So this is the programming part, and now we'll save the file. The Bode plot. Save. Yeah. Now program is saved. Now we'll run the program. Now we can cross-check the command window. So numerator is there. Numerator we gave as a 10, and denominator coefficients 0.04, 0.5, and 1, 0. So this is the denominator coefficients. So by using numerator and denominator, system transfer function 10 by 0.04 s cube plus 0.5 s square plus s is the transfer function. For the transfer function, we applied the Bode plot. We applied the Bode of the system. Now graph will come and all the parameters also will come. We'll see first command window. So this is the transfer function. For this transfer function, omega GC, omega PC, gain margin, and phase margins. All the data is there. So in command window also is there. The same data will available in graph also. It will come in graph also. Now we will check the graph. Yeah. If you observe the graph, the top one is the magnitude versus frequency. That is the magnitude plot. That is the magnitude in terms of gain. And this is the phase angle versus frequency phase plot. And if we observe directly on top edition, the gain margin 1.94 dB decibels. Gain margin, phase margin 5.21 degrees with respect to gain crossover frequency and phase crossover frequencies. Everything is there. Gain crossover frequency, we are identifying from the phase. Gain margin, we are identifying from the phase crossover frequency. And the phase margin, we are identifying from the gain crossover frequency. So omega GC is 4.46, gain crossover frequencies 4.46 radians per second, and the phase crossover frequencies 5 radians per second. So in command window also it will come these values, and here on the graph also it will come. So this is the Bode plot coding part on the graph how we are getting. And if we remove this last two lines, this margin and all also we can. So now if you run the programs, you can check graph. So graph will come, but here it is not there. The domain specifications, gain margin, phase margin, and all, it's not there. If we specify the terms, then only it will come. Simply Bode of the system is the Bode plot will come, but if you know the domain specifications, then only you can identify the stability of the system. The same thing you can cross-check in command window also. Only numerator, denominator, transfer function is there. The domain specifications are not there. If we specify, then only it will come. Actually, this is the Bode plot. And coming to the conclusion, this is the programming part. Up to this point, if we enter means graph will come. But if we know these domain specifications, then only we can identify the stability of the system. So this is the expected graph. That is what we are getting from the simulation, the same thing. Magnitude in terms of there is gain versus a frequency is the magnitude plot. Phase angle versus frequency is the phase plot. From the graph, we are identifying the gain margin, phase crossover frequency, gain crossover frequencies. Now coming to the result, now we draw the Bode plot for the open loop transfer function 10 by s into 1 plus 0.4s into 1 plus 0.1s. And from the simulation, we identified phase crossover frequencies 5 radians per second, gain crossover frequencies 4.46 radians per second, gain margin is 1.94 decibels, phase margin is 5.21 degrees. And now we need to cross-check how to identify the stability of the system is if the phase crossover frequency is greater than the gain crossover frequency. Phase crossover frequency is greater than the gain crossover frequency, then we are saying the system is stable. Or this gain margin and phase margins are positive, then also system will be stable. In case if the phase crossover frequency is equal to the gain crossover frequency, then the system we are saying as a marginally stable. Two crossover frequencies are equal, then that one is the marginally stable system. In case gain crossover frequency is more compared to the phase crossover frequency, then the system is unstable. Coming to in our case, phase crossover frequency is more compared to the gain crossover frequency, then we are saying the system as a stable. Thank you.